यहाँ जो है कि रहस्य बना हुआ है कि आखिर कौन सी ऐसा टैबलेट है जो कि खा लेने के बाद पटवाटोली के बच्चे एनआईटी आईआईटी में इतनी बड़ी संख्या में सफलता अर्जित कर समाज और क्षेत्र का नाम रोशन कर रहे हैं।
Manpur Patwatoli is a tiny little locality sitting on the banks of Falgu River in Bihar's Gaya district. Traditionally, people here are weavers, and the entire community engages itself in weaving. Besides cotton and textile, people spin red cotton towels that are in great demand during festivals. Till about 2 decades ago, the people of Patwatoli lived in extreme poverty and were educationally deprived. But that was 20 years ago. Now, in 1,000 odd households of the place, you would find at least one engineer in every 10 houses. And 1 out of every 5 families has an IITian. Small wonder, Gopal Patwa, the ward councillor you heard in the beginning of the podcast, was beaming with pride and made a tongue-in-cheek remark. He said, people are trying to find the pill that children of Patwatoli gulp, which helps them get into NITs and IITs in such large numbers. Hello and welcome to the Times of India Gold podcast. This is a report by Shizan Nizami of Times of India, where she tries to understand why Patwatoli, once called the Manchester of Bihar for producing cotton and textiles, makes news headlines every year now. No one could imagine that the 1,000 odd families of Patwatoli, who had nothing really to do with education, would produce 400 engineers, and 200 of these would make it to the prestigious IITs. This is more than the number of students who clear the IIT entrance from a town of 1 lakh people. Living in abject poverty, how do these children get the money to join coaching classes? Well, they don't. Instead of attending expensive coaching centers, they sit together in groups, teaching each other, learning from each other. They clear each other's doubts, which they say is the key to their success.
और 97 से लगातार अब तक जो है एक से जो है बढ़ते बढ़ते आज जो है
Since 1997, every year students have got through engineering colleges. This year the number reached 21. Our children can be seen in IITs all across at Mumbai, Madras, Kharagpur and Kanpur. You can see them at BHU, in NITS at Warangal, Hyderabad and Roorkee. They are working in all the metro cities and in the US, UK, Canada, UAE, Australia, Brazil and Netherlands. This is only because of children's determination and sincere efforts. Their families tell them that if you study well you will get a good job in a good company. It will help you change not just your own life but the lives of all your family members. Otherwise, you will be back to weaving cloth. So the children are motivated. They feel that if one person from their area could clear the IIT, they too can.
Gopal says Patwatoli has families that have more than a dozen IITians. The success story started way back in 1992, when Jitendra Prasad, son of a weaver, cracked the IIT exam. Before him, children would barely study till class 10. Just a few would pass class 12 exam, and completing graduation was rare. Only 2 did MA, but no one sat for competitive exams. Perhaps no one knew about them. Most people here got to know of IITs only after Jitendra joined one. Ever since, there has been no looking back. Jitendra inspired everyone.
So in my village, when I was doing the middle school, high school, my brother, elder brother, some of my neighbors, they were also doing a similar thing. But then there was a teacher, his name is Vikas Nath Kapoor. He himself was preparing for IIT and he was talking highly about it. And I had no idea what exactly he is doing. But the way he was talking and the way he was storyboarding, that really inspired me. And in other words, I came to know about IIT from him. The key mantra I utilized for preparation was combined study and discussing common problems or issues or the question that comes in. What I realized that, when somebody asks question, even though you have studied, if you try to explain them, it gives you a lot of insight in terms of what exactly it is. So that's what I advise them to the village people. Not only it was more effective, but the other problem that the village students they were dealing with was funding, or more like a financing from their parents. So this one was very cost effective. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money for the coaching or training, and all you have to do is invest your time in a judicial way that can be more effective. So that's what was the key to success for my preparation, and that happened to be the success for the villager who kind of started this trend. And over a period of time, that has been the key mantra for every student to get through to the IITs.
Jitendra has been living in California for the past 19 years and works at Deloitte Consulting there. He has worked at Tata Steel, Juniper Networks, Oracle, Accenture and PwC. While at IIT, Jitendra would land up in Patwatoli every summer vacation and coach youngsters on how to study for the entrance exams. When 2 more boys cracked IIT after Jitendra, it gave other children courage to start preparing for the exams.
Until I was in the college, every year in the summer I used to come. I used to share the awareness, provide some inspiration story that I used to hear from the college, engineering college like IIT, what other people are doing. And mostly I used to share the story to inspire them of students who are doing either IAS or going to abroad like UK and America after writing GRE, and then doing management from IIMs and getting to prestigious positions within reputed companies like Tata's, Reliance, etc. So those were the stories I was sharing, but none of them was making any difference. People were not taking what I'm saying to be true, and that was the case. So then I got my job at Tata Steel. That helped a little bit. But after Tata Steel, I was able to get a job in America and got my visa. And when I set the path or foot to America, that's when people awoke that, okay, this is something totally different. And it is something that can be done since I had done it. So it was 8 or 9 long years before other people started doing it on a regular basis, like every year 7 or 8 or 10 students.
As some students started tasting success, their younger siblings and friends started getting encouragement from their parents. In 2015, Deepa Kumari became the first Patwatoli girl to make it to an engineering college. By now, 6 girls have joined IITs. In 2021, 19-year-old Shilpa Kumari secured a place in IIT Kharagpur. Shilpa grew up watching her mother boil and dry thread, while her father would work on the semi-automatic handloom. They barely make rupees 10,000 a month. For a family of 7, this is too little. Shilpa's 2 elder sisters are married. The eldest one could not even complete school. The second one managed to graduate. Shilpa is proud that she is the first in the family to have studied well and got into an IIT.
I had seen how other families become financially well off after their kids got a good job. I have taken loan to complete my studies. I also want to break the gender gap. In a poor family, a boy is always given first preference. If parents could not afford the education of 2 children, they will remove their daughter from school but continue to provide education to sons. This mindset needs to be changed.
Students now use the social media to study. Patwatoli even has an online platform called Briksha, Be the Change. Here, teachers from different parts of the country provide online tutorials to students, all free of cost. Children of Patwatoli who grew up to become engineers also come here to teach IIT aspirants. Abhay Raj, who is preparing for IIT JEE, is a student here.
I'm studying in Vriksh, Be the Change. It's a foundation run by donations only, and there we have many teachers, we have many guiders such as Chandrakant Pateswari Bhaiya, Ranjit Bhaiya, Divesar Bhaiya. So they guide us during our preparation.
Abhay slogs it out for 12 to 14 hours every day and says there are children who study for 16 hours. Abhay's mother is a housewife and his father works in an insurance company. He dreams of having his own startup someday. He studies hard because, he says, IIT is the best.
In 2 words, you can say it top notch. They have the best facilities. You get the education from the best professors. You have the gym, sports club, food, environment, everything.
As the children of Patwatoli shine, the financial condition of the place has also brightened up. Gopal tells us how.
चेंजेज तो आए हैं, उनकी आर्थिक स्थिति जो है सबल हुई है.
You can see the changes. Their financial condition has stabilized. If one person gets into IIT or NIT, that person takes care of the entire family. And then, the entire family gets educated and learns to become self-dependent. You can see people constructing their own houses. When we go outside Patwatoli, people say that our children are doing well. We are so proud of our children's potential and efforts. We get so much respect because of them. People are trying to solve the mystery behind so many children doing big from such a small place.
The children of Patwatoli have stars in their eyes. From a tiny decrepit locality, they have turned the place into a city of technocrats. This was a report by Shizan Nizami. For more such stories, do keep listening to the Times of India Gold podcast.